On the left corner, WordPress, and on the other side, SilverStripe. Hi guys, in the last 10 years I've been using both SilverStripe and WordPress to build websites. I didn't touch any other CMS, so I can only talk about my experience with WordPress and SilverStripe. WordPress is a free open source content management system, CMS. Very easy to use with an extensive plugin library. You can find contact forms, booking systems, all sorts of integrations like MailChimp, Google Analytics and Hotjar. WordPress is so popular that you can find a theme for virtually any application. You even have sites dedicated to that market like Theme Forest. Though I only use Avada. It costs around $60 for a lifetime license. Works like a charm and has frequent updates. I will do a video on Avada later on this channel. SilverStripe, on the other hand, provides a CMS and a framework, allowing more complex web development and customization. SilverStripe is the king in that area out of the box. There are some themes available at GitHub, though I always create my own using Bootstrap. SilverStripe has a modular approach, with all functionalities separate into modules. They can be installed via Composer to track dependencies. Now, let's dive deeper into the details. How do we create pages in WordPress? In WordPress, you create a page by using the left sidebar menu, then design a page with the elements available. It's easy to manipulate, though unless you are using a system like Avada, you cannot assign a template to a certain object, like every product has a product page. You will have to rely on the plugins to do so, and hope it was coded the way it suits your needs. In the end of the day, I always find what I needed inside WordPress. Not exactly like I wanted, but for someone who doesn't want to code, it's a solution. I cannot really complain about WordPress because there's many page builders available, but I wouldn't build a complex website around WordPress. It's not done to create a search engine or social media site, even if some plugins allow you to do so. There are great options, but you have to rely on the developer. And if something is not implemented, even as a coder, you will have to dive deep in the documentation, if available, to understand and tweak the code, which might lead to a complete disaster. So yeah, it's not forbidden, but I wouldn't try it, and it's not my cup of tea. How to create pages in SilverStripe. With SilverStripe, you create simple pages, add the content to the content field, and you're done. Though if it was only to create pages that way, SilverStripe wouldn't be what it is. The strength of SilverStripe is the ability to create templates to display data objects. Let's say you have a data object called real estate object, with a title, location, availability, price, and pictures. You can have a dedicated template used to display these objects, so you don't need to create a new page for each real estate object. Imagine having thousands of objects to display. You don't have to change thousands of pages. You only modify the correct template and the job is done. If you want to add videos to the real estate objects, just add the required fields to your data object, add the video player in the template, and voila, all the pages now can display a video. Obviously, you will need to know how to code, so it's not for non-coders. Added to this, you can use iteration functions directly in the template, like loop, if, else if, and so on. Here we are already closer to a hard-coded website approach, but with a CMS and a framework to speed up the process. So now that we know more or less what those two beasts can do, let's check the pros and cons of each system. Installation and ease of use. You can download WordPress at wordpress.org. It uses PHP and a database. OVH and Overhost even provide a one-click installation for WordPress. WordPress comes as a package that has more than it needs. Often the themes by default end up never being used. The Hello Dolly and Hello World plugins are the most useless ever seen. They can be directly deleted. And Jetpack, well, might be useful, but there are better options doing the same thing. The installation process only requires a database connection. Choose a language and that's it. You can install plugins from the plugin tab. Just click Add, search what you need, install and activate. No coding skills required. It's a visual environment. SilverStripe also uses PHP and a database. The installer provides the minimum needed to start, and one simple theme. The modules by default are what you need to run a basic website, plus all the security features. It's not complicated to install, but you will need to know how to set up a database, and make sure your server is running the correct version of PHP. You can add modules which are like plugins, or you can use directly the integration code provided by third parties. Either way, it's not rocket science for a coder. So, let's make a fair conclusion between the two. For non-coders installing it for themselves, I would give the win to WordPress, even if the notification system in the backend drives me nuts. But I see it from the perspective of a non-coder willing to create a website. For end users with an installation done by a coder, they don't need to know how the website has been created. SilverStripe then can take the win as the developer can refine the options for the user and keep the essential. You can also do this in WordPress but not out of the box and without the benefits of the speed of SilverStripe. Speed and resource optimizations. Some WordPress plugins might be well coded, or not at all. but they often come with a bunch of notifications and ads for the premium version, overloading the backend of the site. The system is resource hungry. Once you start adding plugins, the database is close to 12 megabytes, and you didn't create a page yet. Obviously, you can use cache systems, CDN, you can even use a plugin to deactivate plugins that are not used. But hey, you didn't code anything, that's the deal. Easy to use, but not optimized. On the other hand, SilverStripe comes almost naked. Then you add the modules you really need. There's no ads or notifications for premium plugins, they don't have any review system, the backend loads very quickly. If you need more integrations, you can do so by connecting to APIs, add JavaScript and CSS, but you don't need to install a bunch of unnecessary stuff. Once fully installed, your database is less than 1 megabyte and it's optimized to your needs. You can also leverage the power of a cache system, CDN and so on. So the winner for speed and optimization is by far SilverStripe. Theme customization. With WordPress and Avada, my theme of choice, almost everything can be customized without coding. Now, if you have plugins, their style may not depend on the theme, so you will need to code some CSS whatsoever. Note that WordPress has many other themes, but my experience with them is that's often limited. With SilverStripe and Bootstrap, or any other framework, you will need to tweak some CSS. Not a lot if you stay organized. A good point for SilverStripe is the fact that each page type has its own body class, so you can isolate the CSS for each page type. There are not many themes available, but it's not the issue for me. I build my own from scratch for each project. So for a simple WordPress website using Avada, that can be a win. Otherwise, I would give it to SilverStripe as it's easier to go into deep customizations. E-commerce. WordPress wouldn't be as popular without WooCommerce. This powerful e-commerce platform is still the leader on the market with 25% of online stores built on it. That's 3% more than last year. Up to now, it has been downloaded almost 90 million times. And it's largely due to the fact that it's free. SilverStripe also has an e-commerce module called SilverShop. It's a very simple yet effective plugin. It allows you to connect to the Stripe payment platform. Therefore, SilverStripe has all you need to create an online store. I didn't dig into specifics of stock management and bulk products editing, but I will certainly do some content about it in the future. I can't really say it's a draw, so I give the win to WordPress with WooCommerce. Because WooCommerce, even if it's still resource hungry, it works well, is very well supported and extensive. Security. WordPress popularity makes it a target for hackers. So users need to actively maintain and update their WordPress installations to mitigate security risks. WordPress doesn't come set for security, leaving sensitive information visible to hackers. So make sure to follow our video on how to secure your WordPress website. And don't leave it unchecked. You may end up with fake admin accounts and leaked information. SilverStripe prioritizes security and offers built-in features to help protect your site. For the time being, in more than 10 years of working with SilverStripe, I never had an issue whatsoever, outside of being locked off the admin panel because I forgot the password. There's a way to solve that issue via FTP, so it's not a big deal. Therefore, on the security side, SilverStripe is our champion. Learning curve, community, and support. WordPress has a large community of users and developers, making it easier to find some help. SilverStripe has a higher learning curve, requires more technical expertise and familiarity with the framework. There are some lessons available on the SilverStripe website, a community available on forum.silverstripe.org, but it's not that easy to get the right information. Also, the community tends to be tech savvy, so sometimes they can answer like the solution is obvious. I can totally understand that a newbie might be disoriented, though the support exists. Lately, I've been annoying ChatGPT, and it gives you good support in most cases. Sometimes it sends you to the abyss of the internet, but more than often you can rely on it. But still, on the support side, WordPress has a ton of documentation, examples and forums that can support you. You don't need so much skills anyway, so it's a win for WordPress. Conclusion. WordPress is free and easy to use. WooCommerce in itself is a great option for e-commerce. Using Avada template on a OVH performance server, I rarely had any issue. No coding required, though it's a factory and needs to be secured. There's many messages in the backend asking to give a review. You dismiss them, they come back. It's just invasive and annoying. Default WordPress themes are not great, so I use Avada even if it's not free. SilverStripe is faster, lighter, has many modules. An e-commerce option. There's a limited support, but it does exist. Don't expect the learning curve to be straightforward, unless you are already a good coder. ChatGPT can help in most cases. So ultimately, the choice between WordPress and SilverStripe depends on your specific needs. I use both, but if I have a serious website to build, I prefer to use SilverStripe. For e-commerce though, WooCommerce still wins in many cases. If the budget is limited and time is scarce, you may install WordPress. It does a great job at being easy to use and functional. It will provide you what you need quickly, even if it's not optimized and needs to be secured. Whatever you use, don't forget to comply with cookies and data protection laws, GDPR, CCPA and so on. To avoid fines, you can use Iubenda. Iubenda provides a solution to quickly and efficiently scan your site. Creates a cookie banner with all the necessary documents. Plus, they keep track of the consent in a database, in case you need to provide proof that the consent was given. Very powerful and affordable, so check them out. They even have a WordPress plugin. Affiliate link in the description. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want more content like this, subscribe to the channel. Keep coding and see you in the next one. Peace.